The specter of witch hunts with their fiery pyres and chilling accusations casts a long shadow over European history. From the 15th to the 18th centuries, tens of thousands of individuals, primarily women, were accused of witchcraft. The trials, fueled by religious fervor, social anxieties, and political machinations, left an indelible mark on the continent's collective memory. While the Salem witch trials in the American colonies are perhaps the most infamous, the phenomenon of witch hunting was widespread across Europe. Each region experienced the frenzy in its own way, with varying degrees of intensity and distinctive legal frameworks. Among these diverse experiences, Sweden's narrative stands out as particularly unique. Sweden's brush with the witch-hunting phenomenon, particularly during the period known as the Great Noise from 1668 to 1676, offers valuable insights into the broader forces at play during this tumultuous era. Examining Sweden's unique experience allows us to move beyond simplistic narratives and appreciate the nuanced factors that led to the persecution of so many innocent individuals. Sweden, a land steeped in ancient folklore and Norse mythology, had a complex relationship with magic and witchcraft long before the witch hunt craze gripped Europe. Traditional folk beliefs often incorporated elements of magic, both benevolent and harmful, into everyday life. Cunning folk, often women, were consulted for healing, divination, and protection. However, the arrival of Christianity in Scandinavia during the Viking Age brought with it a new set of beliefs and attitudes towards magic. The Church, seeking to establish its authority and eradicate pagan practices, condemned witchcraft as a form of heresy and a threat to Christian souls. This syncretism, the blending of old and new beliefs, created fertile ground for the anxieties and suspicions that would later fuel the witch hunts. The year 1668 marked a turning point in Sweden's history, ushering in a period of intense witch hunting that would become known as Det stora Övesundet, the Great Noise. This period, lasting until 1676, saw a dramatic escalation in accusations of witchcraft, fueled by a confluence of social, religious, and political factors. What began as isolated whispers of maleficium, the harmful use of magic, quickly amplified into a deafening roar of fear and paranoia that gripped the nation. Warfare brought with it economic hardship, social disruption, and a heightened sense of vulnerability. In times of crisis, people often seek explanations for their misfortunes, and accusations of witchcraft provided a convenient scapegoat for a society grappling with uncertainty and loss. Crop failures, livestock epidemics, and outbreaks of disease fueled anxieties and strengthened the belief that malevolent forces were at work. The Swedish Church, influenced by the broader European witch hunt movement, played a significant role in stoking the flames of fear. Clergymen, steeped in demonological literature, preached fiery sermons about the dangers of witchcraft. The Great Noise, once ignited, spread like wildfire through Swedish society. The legal system, ill-equipped to handle the deluge of accusations, struggled to maintain order as the country descended into a frenzy of fear and suspicion. The Mora witch trial, which unfolded in the small town of Mora, in Dalarna province from 1668 to 1670, stands as a chilling emblem of the Great Noise. This trial, one of the largest and most well-documented in Swedish history, captivated the nation and exemplified the volatile mix of fear, superstition, and legal uncertainty that characterized this period. The trial began with the accusations of a young shepherdess, who claimed to have been abducted by witches and taken to a demonic sabbath. As fear and suspicion spread, other children came forward with similar stories, their accounts often echoing and embellishing upon one another. The accused, primarily women from the local community, found themselves facing a wave of accusations that seemed to multiply with each passing day. The Mora witch trial, while exceptional in its scale, reflected the broader patterns of accusation and persecution that played out across Sweden during the Great Noise. The role of children's testimony in the Swedish witch trials, particularly during the Great Noise, is both fascinating and deeply unsettling. Children, often viewed as innocent and pure, were seen as particularly susceptible to the influence of supernatural forces. Their accounts of encounters with witches, demonic rituals, and otherworldly events carried a powerful weight in the courtroom, shaping the course of trials and often sealing the fate of the accused. Across Europe, children's testimony played a significant role in fueling accusations and securing convictions. Adults, often caught up in the fervor of the witch hunts, may have unknowingly influenced children's perceptions and interpretations of events. The power dynamics at play in these situations cannot be overstated. The impact of children's testimony on the accused was often devastating. As the Great Noise reached its peak, the Swedish monarchy, initially slow to react to the escalating witch hunt, began to grapple with the social and legal ramifications of the crisis. King Karl II, ascending to the throne in 1672, inherited a kingdom deeply divided by the witch hunts. Recognizing the need for order and stability, Karl II embarked on a series of reforms aimed at curbing the excesses of the trials and reasserting royal authority over the legal system. One significant reform involved restricting the use of torture in witchcraft cases. Recognizing the inherent unreliability of confessions obtained under duress, Karl VII's reforms limited the use of torture and mandated that it only be used in cases where there was already strong evidence of guilt. Furthermore, the king sought to standardize legal procedures and ensure greater oversight of witchcraft trials. These legal reforms, while far from perfect, represented a significant step towards a more rational and measured approach to witchcraft accusations. The Malleus Maleficarum, a notorious treatise on witchcraft published in 1486, cast a long shadow over the European witch hunts, influencing legal proceedings, shaping popular beliefs, and contributing to the persecution of countless individuals accused of consorting with the devil. This text, penned by two German Dominican monks, Heinrich Kramer and Jacob Sprenger, provided a comprehensive guide to identifying, interrogating, and punishing witches. The Malleus Maleficarum, meaning Hammer of Witches, codified many of the prevailing beliefs about witchcraft, portraying it as a dangerous heresy that threatened the very fabric of Christian society. It argued that witches derived their power from a pact with the devil, renouncing their faith and pledging allegiance to the forces of darkness in exchange for supernatural abilities. While the Malleus Maleficarum did not have the force of law in Sweden, its influence on Swedish legal proceedings is undeniable. The Great Noise, while shaped by local factors, cannot be fully understood without acknowledging the broader intellectual and cultural currents that influence the persecution of those accused of witchcraft. By the mid-1670s, the fervor of the Great Noise began to wane, as skepticism towards witchcraft accusations grew and the Swedish government implemented reforms to curb the excesses of the trials. A number of factors contributed to this shift in attitudes and legal practices, marking a turning point in Sweden's relationship with witchcraft. One significant factor was the growing skepticism among some educated elites and government officials about the validity of witchcraft accusations. The use of torture to extract confessions, a practice that often produced unreliable and coerced testimony, came under increasing scrutiny. Furthermore, the social and economic disruption caused by the witch hunts began to outweigh any perceived benefits of purging society of supposed witches. The legal reforms implemented by King Karl II played a crucial role in curbing the excesses of the witch hunts. These reforms, while not completely eradicating witchcraft accusations, did significantly reduce the number of trials and executions. The Great Noise, though relatively brief compared to witch hunts in other parts of Europe, left an indelible mark on Swedish society. The trials, fueled by fear, superstition, and religious zealotry, had shattered communities, torn families apart, and resulted in the deaths of dozens of individuals, primarily women. The legacy of this dark chapter continued to haunt the nation long after the last pyre had burned out. One of the most enduring consequences of the witch hunts was the trauma inflicted upon the accused, their families, and their communities. Those who had been accused, even if ultimately acquitted, often faced social ostracism, economic hardship, and the lingering stigma of suspicion. The witch hunts also had a chilling effect on freedom of speech and expression. The legacy of the witch hunts served as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of mass hysteria, the importance of critical thinking, and the need to protect the innocent from false accusations. While the era of witch hunts may seem like a distant and barbaric chapter in human history, its echoes can still be felt in modern society. The Swedish experience, in particular, offers valuable lessons about the dangers of intolerance, the importance of critical thinking, and the need to protect the vulnerable from unfounded accusations. One of the most striking parallels between the witch hunts in contemporary society is the persistence of scapegoating and the tendency to blame marginalized groups for social ills. Just as witches were scapegoated for crop failures, diseases, and other misfortunes during the Great Noise, today we see marginalized communities targeted for a range of social problems. The witch hunts, with their reliance on spectral evidence, rumors, and coerced confessions, highlight the need for critical thinking, evidence-based reasoning, and a healthy skepticism towards sensationalized claims. The Swedish experience also underscores the importance of a fair and impartial justice system that upholds the rights of the accused. The Swedish witch trials, particularly the tumultuous period known as the Great Noise, stand as a chilling reminder of the human capacity for cruelty, the fragility of justice, and the enduring power of fear and superstition. While the fires of the pyres have long since been extinguished, the scars left by this dark chapter in history continue to resonate. It is our duty to remember the victims of the witch hunts, to honor their memories by acknowledging the injustices they suffered and by striving to create a more just and compassionate world. We must learn from the mistakes of the past, recognizing the dangers of intolerance, the importance of critical thinking, and the need to protect the vulnerable from unfounded accusations. By studying the witch hunts, we gain valuable insights into the human condition, the complexities of belief systems, and the fragility of social order. By remembering the accused, honoring the truth, and striving to create a more just and compassionate world, we can help ensure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated.